Hey everyone, in today's tutorial we're going to learn how to fill and ganache a cake. So I've got two cakes here, two chocolate cakes, 7-inch ones, and I'm just going to take my PME leveler. I'm going to cut the tops off the cakes, and then we're just going to fill with chocolate buttercream. I do get asked quite often about how I achieve a flat cake, and it is just with a PME leveler. They're, I think, under £5 from most cake shops. So I just make sure that both sides are set to the right height, and we'll just take off that top. Now I've used a little bit of buttercream just on my board to make the cake stick. I also sometimes use Ganache. This is a 12-inch board because I've got quite a lot of board decoration to go on there as well. So I've just put the first cake on, and then I'm going to pop quite a bit of buttercream in the middle. And then I'm just going to flatten that off with my palette knife and then place the other cake on top. You don't have to worry about anything coming out from the sides because we're going to deal with that anyway. So we're going to pop the other cake on, remove the paper, and then we're just going to use the palette knife again just to go around the edges to tuck in the buttercream that's come out a little bit. And you're just going to do that all the way around. It doesn't matter if there's gaps because the ganache will fill that. Now I will put my recipe for ganache down below. I use a different ratio just because I prefer a bit of a firmer ganache. And what I've done here is I've purposely overheated it so I can show you what split ganache looks like. Now once you've made your ganache, I blend it all together with a hand mixer. It tends to give it the consistency of more like buttercream rather than it being sort of, if you don't mix it, it can go a bit sticky and it's hard to work with. But I've just mixed this with the hand whisk, and then when you do this you can see sort of in the light it looks almost a little bit grainy. A lot of people put different things in ganache to bring the temperature down to then blend it together. But if you just pop it back in the fridge for 10 minutes and then come to blend it again, and it'll be perfectly fine for you to work with, so there's no need to add anything in there. So if you just take a look here, this is what split ganache will look like if you're working with it, and you can see sort of like the separation between the chocolate. So you can kind of see it looks a little bit grainy and it's separating when you pick it up. I'll try it to show you again at a different angle. You can see there how it's just splitting apart when you're lifting it up on the fork. So here's another look. You can see I've left it for 5 minutes just out on the side, and you can see how it's sticking together. So I just popped it in the fridge, and then I come back and I whisked it. Now when you're whisking the ganache, you're looking for it to go quite a light fluffy shade. So the same as when you mix the butter and the sugar until it's light and fluffy, that's going to happen to the ganache. So if you remember how dark it was when we very first started, and this is a milk chocolate ganache, so usually the ratios for that are 2 to 1. So for 200 grams of chocolate you would put 100 mils of double cream in there. But like I said, I prefer a thicker mixture, something that's going to be a bit firmer, especially for wedding cakes. If the cake is supporting many other tiers, I like to work with a thicker ratio of ganache. So once you've mixed that all together, we're literally just going to crumb coat it. So the same that you would do if you was buttercream in your cake, we're just going to seal all the crumbs into there and then pop it in the fridge for 5 minutes. I always do the top first, and then you're literally just going to slap the ganache around the edges. It doesn't have to be too neat because you're going to take some of it off. I've got two different scrapers that I use. One is a plastic one which I got from Vanilla Valley, and the other one is just I think it's like a PME one. Depending on the size of the cake will depend on which one I use. So I'm just placing that on a 45-degree angle on the cake and just removing any excess. And then the top areas you're just going to pull in. Now I find it's easier to work with the ganache at this consistency to do the crumb coat, because you're not going to drag parts of the cake off, which can sometimes happen if you leave it to be a little bit thicker. You're just going to pull the excess in on the edges. And then you're going to put that in the fridge and leave that in the fridge for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to harden really quickly because it's a higher ratio of chocolate to cream. And then when it comes out, it's cold enough so that it starts to set harder. So this is what your ganache should look like once you've mixed it together properly. If you find that your ganache is stiffening up quite a bit, you can just pop it back in the microwave for about 10 seconds. And when you do that, you will be able to just whisk it back together again. So I do the edges, putting quite a bit on there. I don't like my ganache to be too thick, but obviously you need it to be thicker than what a crumb coat would be. Ganache is really good for hiding things like bulging. So I think when you do buttercream cakes, sometimes you get that ring where the buttercream filling is spilling out a little bit, whereas the ganache is a bit more stable, so it gives that support to the filling that's in there. So you can see I'm still on that 45-degree angle, and I'm just holding it flat against the cake and I'm spinning it with the other hand. Now you can see where there's parts kind of like there's been an air bubble that's formed, and we need to go back around and fill in those areas. So you can see here at the top where there's an air bubble and down at the bottom, so we're just going to put some more ganache on there. Now I've purposely not sped this video up because I wanted you to see, you know, how the process is for ganaching in real time. Obviously I'm doing it a little bit slower than what I would normally do it because I'm trying to do it at a speed that you can see. So here's the clear one that I got from Vanilla Valley. It's got a really sharp edge, and you just place that on the cake and you're just going to turn your table around. And you're going to keep doing this until you've got level edges, and just remove any excess just by scraping that in back into the bowl. Now I think this mixture that I made, I did 1600 grams of milk chocolate, because I had 2 cakes to cover and then I had another one to do the following day. So I did 1600 grams of milk chocolate and then 533 millilitres of double cream. So once you're happy with the sides, we're going to put some on the top. And then we're just going to use the scraper just to go around the cake first. I always find it's better to come down to eye level when I'm doing the top of the cake, just so I can make sure that it is flat. So you're just going to pull the ganache across the cake. So you can see there that lump that's in there is just a bit of chocolate that's not melted properly. And then once you've flattened out the top, we're going to go around the sides. Again, that stops it from coming out a little bit at the top, which sometimes you see cakes and they just get a little bit wider as they get to the top. And when you're pulling your ganache in, you always come to the centre of the cake rather than going out, and that'll give you a nice crisp edge. Now, if you look at the cake and you can see a little bit of a dip at one side, then you can just put a little bit of buttercream, a little bit of ganache on there and then level it back out again. I find this method is just really quick and really simple. I've tried to do the upside down method and flipping cakes and things like that, and I just think that this is just an easier method for achieving the flat top of a cake. You're just pulling the ganache back into the middle, and you can see that as I'm working with it, it's getting, it's drying a little bit, so it's getting a little bit lighter in colour. And you can just keep working your way around, removing any excess, and just using your scraper to get any excess off the board as well. When I'm heating my ganache, I tend to put it in for a minute first, mix together, then another minute and mix together again, and then after that I just do 30-second bursts in the microwave until it's come together. If one side of the cake was completely different to the other, or it was quite a dip that had happened, then I would put it in the fridge. At this point I would put it in the fridge for another 10 minutes and then put some more ganache on, and that ganache would then fill in that space and harden quickly. So you can see I'm just using my card just to smooth over the top, and I've just filled in a little bit there, and then I'm just making sure that it's flat. Just filling in any bits that I think is a little bit lower. And once you've done the top, you're then going to go around the edges again, because you can see that there's a lip from where we've been working, and we want that lip to be flat. So you're going to go around the cake again, taking off any excess and then bringing those edges in towards the middle of the cake. I like to leave my ganache to dry for at least, I would say, about 6 hours before I cover it with fondant. And when I cover it with fondant, I spray it with water first so that it sticks. But once you've done your cake, you should have something that kind of looks like this. We're going to leave it to dry for 10 minutes in the fridge, and in that time we're going to get some hot water. So I've just used, I've boiled the kettle and filled a cup with water, and I'm just using my palette knife, and we're just going to hot knife the cake. So what this will do is any ridges that you've got, any bubbles that you've got or anything like that, it's just going to smooth that out, because the knife is hot, so it's just going to melt the chocolate, but not enough to make a difference in the actual shape of the cake. It's just about smoothing out the edges. So just leave it in for a couple of seconds and then come back around and just applying a little bit of pressure to the cake. And then going back around again. If you did make a mistake, caught the side of the cake with the palette knife or anything like that, took out a chunk that you weren't supposed to, or at this stage you've realised that something's not straight, it's a little bit wonky, you can go and add more ganache onto that even though you've done this process. I do find that ganache is a lot better for tiered cakes, especially if you like a lot of filling in the middle, because, as I say, it's strong enough to apply a barrier so that it stops that spilling. It's also ideal for hotter weathers as well, because it doesn't melt the same as what buttercream does. If you do have any problems, if you try this and you get stuck on anything, you can just pop me a message on Facebook. I usually try to get back to everybody. Or I've got a group on Facebook, which is Cake Nation Academy. You're more than welcome to join, and I answer questions in there and take requests for further videos. Ganache is something that I get asked about probably on a daily basis. So I thought if I do a quick tutorial just on how to do it, then you've got a video to kind of reference. So just keep looking at the cake and seeing where I need to smooth it out a little bit, and then reapplying the hot knife to those areas. So once I've done this, I leave it to dry at room temperature, not in the fridge. You can put it in the fridge if you want, it's just that once you then come to cover it, because it's so cold and it's sweating, it can make the fondant tacky, which is hard to then create straight edges with that. So I always tend to leave it to dry at room temperature first, and then just spray it with a little bit of water before I cover it. Have got another tutorial that I'm doing after this one, which is how to stack a cake, so how to dowel and how I stack a cake. So I will show you that one as well. So once you're finished, you should have something that resembles this. If you've liked today's video, please click the thumbs up button down below or leave a comment. If you'd like to see more of my tutorials, please click the links on the screen now. Thanks for watching.